The man from South Georgia convicted of killing a Kennesaw State University student will spend the rest of his life in prison. Samuel Harris pleaded guilty to multiple charges, including malice murder. He shot and killed Elijah Franklin in 2024 at an on-campus apartment complex.